Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 9 of the final season of DC's Titans. This is the episode I've been really looking forward to. It is Dude, Where's My Gar? There's a lot of speculation as far as what are some things we may traverse and see within this episode that people have been talking about for quite some time. I can't wait to see if any of it turns out to be true. With that all said, guys, let's go ahead and hop into this. If you want to see the full-length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if you got a memorable channel, gets you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes of my reaction the entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the shows and movies that we cover here on the channel. Over there, you also get to suggest and vote on what movies we react to each month. We got an active poll going on right now, so you can help decide what the next movie reaction is going to be. And we also have monthly Q&As and behind-the-scenes footage trying to make it worth your while, so you're going to always support the channel. Guys, if you enjoyed this reaction, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you're not already, because it really does go a long way with helping us out. And with that all said and out of the way, let's hop into episode 9. Dude, Where's My Gar? Here we go.
You okay, hun?
You know, I noticed this last 2 episodes, but I didn't really mention it. It now says a Max original, yet they haven't updated like the URL or anything like that. I'm wondering when that's gonna happen. I'm just expecting to one day type in hbomax.com and then nothing happen.
I don't want to be alone. You're gonna have to be, okay? I need to go make an announcement so we can find your parents. I'm sure they're as worried as you are.
Oh, wow. All right. We're heading into the red. Oh. Okay, where are we? Where are we now? Yo, what the hell? What the fuck is that?
A lion and a bat.
Oh, wow. What the
Are you hungry? Who are you? Where am I?
That would be a trippy fucking thing to wake up to, man.
I pulled you here out of the red. The truth. That is what and who I am.
Okay.
I'm like you, my friend, with all beasts who breed and bleed. I am your freedom.
Okay. Interesting.
Come. Rise up.
I wonder if this is happening while they're in the town, why they've gone on, why they've returned, or this is all happening while they're still in that void, that death realm that Raven talked about. Like, is it happening parallel, or is it, I don't know. Like, is this place in time? Is what I'm wondering.
But right now, I need to get back to my friends. No idea
If
the
they don't
evil we've been up against. Blood moons, curses, demons,
The end of times.
life and death that I get back to my friends. Maybe for the entire world.
We are quite literally on a timetable.
No one truly threatens the world.
No, I think that qualifies. The hell? Oh! Oh God! Wait a second, those shots didn't line up at the angle he hit him. Editing it, continuity error, but it's fine. That was funny though.
You know so much about me. You're gonna tell me something about you?
I love how focused this episode has been so far.
But the day Mike Maxwell gave me this helmet, there was only Freedom Beast.
Okay. Hell yeah, man.
This ancient helm prolonged my lifespan, gave me strength, and the ability to fuse two creatures into one super hybrid.
That's fucking weird. Right? What the fuck? That seems like it'd be an abomination of his mission statement doing something like that. What happens with the sentience of the one or the other that gets combined? Do they share the body, or do they no longer exist in individuality? It seems cruel.
Animal Man, or Vixen, or the others tied to the Red.
Yo! The name drops.
If I'm more connected to the Red than anybody else, why is it that I only turn into green animals?
That's a good point.
Your favorite color is green, no?
Yeah, it's been that way ever since I was a kid.
Your influence over the Red.
Wasn't it a side effect of like what cured him in the end too? I forget. There's a reason in the comics why his skin's green and why he turns into green animals. I don't think it's as simple as it's his favorite color.
Stop this lab, and you will travel back through the Red on your own in moments.
Shady Mystic drink. Let's go.
How long does it take to begin? How long does it take to begin? How long is it gonna take to begin? How long does it take to begin?
Oh god, the crab scuttle and then the one just running into the... Holy shit. That was funny. We're at the tree. Man, this makes me wish they never canceled Swamp Thing, because like we could have like a simultaneous exploration of the Red while exploring the Green together, all while both these shows were going on at the same time, dude. Season 1 of Swamp Thing, if you've never checked it out, it's great. It's really good.
You're in the driver's seat this time.
No. Where's Dick?
Now that we're all here,
What the fuck?
You've always followed everybody else.
I sure have.
Your parents, then Dr. Calder, then Dick.
Shut up.
Aww. Aww. Yeah, I mean, he's had such weight on his shoulders and this confidence issue for so long. Aww. I'm gonna get emotional, man. No.
Return to your breath. Go deeper.
He's learning to like control and guide and steer his own destiny here.
Jinx.
Star Labs?
Hey.
What? Yo! Illusion? After plane. What's going on?
Are you awake or asleep? Why not both?
Am I dead?
Go on.
Again. Thank you, Titans. I mean, mostly dead. This isn't my first funeral.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, I got, it's like she can just keep coming back, but the way that Rachel sended off her spirit, I wasn't sure if this was like a permadeath.
Forget yourself and the Titans, Gar. This is all so much bigger.
Okay, I don't know. I don't think that's actually Jinx now. That conversation didn't add up to me.
All of us. Go into the Red. Champions. Guardians. Protectors.
I think he might be dictating what he's seeing to some extent.
Intersecting across space and time.
Back at the park?
I don't want to be alone. You're gonna have to be, okay?
Oh, wow, man.
I know it is painful to realize you are unlike anyone else in this world.
Yeah, I don't know. Every one of these visions so far seems to be trying to hammer in that he's...
That you are absolutely alone.
Yeah, that.
Come! Our mission awaits.
I'm a little wary about what's going on right now. At least some aspect about it. There seems to be some kind of like dueling philosophy happening here.
When you become one with the red, individual relationships lose their meaning. A bee with its hive. We are above such things.
Yeah, that's not gonna sit right with Gar, man. That can't be the outcome. I think that's just what he's learned to believe. We're following typical tropes. Gar's gonna find his own way. You know, there's no way he would just detach himself from his loved ones like that.
Predators no longer. Tonight, they are prey.
All right, let's go. Dude, go Ryan, man. Yeah. Yo, dude. Dude, that's one thing I'm loving this season, man. We're seeing more Beast Boy. Doing more and more. Yo, yeah. Yes. Yo! Dude, I've wanted this shit since season 1. I know it was budgetary reasons and whatnot, but it's Beast Boy, man. Your soul is mine. Oh, wait, no. Wait, no. Oh, he's melding them together. So now he in turn dies on the table alongside. Okay. See, again, that just goes back to my question earlier, is like, what did that do to the ape's consciousness in those final moments? Like, I don't know, it feels pervasive to me. While he gets what he deserves, I don't know how I feel about the ape having its identity dissolved like that. Again, we don't necessarily know how the fusion works, but that's just some questions that creep up in my head. Seeing you have like something like that where he's just like, rest. But like, were they both in there? Or did you just meld their brains together, creating something altogether different? Are they both aware, but share a body? I don't know, it feels weird. Oh,
Dr. Niles called her.
Hold up, I want to go back and read that because I could have swore I saw the green on that paper as well. Just a quick glance. It's another one of his manufactured tragedies to produce a specimen for his immortality project. I don't know that that was the case in the comics, though, that Niles was behind the accident. I don't remember. The hell?
What happened?
Did they just blink in time?
Up until this very moment. What?
Oh, everything we've been seeing has been an illusion.
An illusion?
to show you.
Man who saved my life, killed my mother and father.
And many others.
Wow.
Quest to unlock eternal life.
Yeah, it seems like he's really trying to push his point of view onto Gar.
You released the virus knowing dozens would die. But he only needed one to live. Another test
Sounds like the Niles we got to know on Doom Patrol. Jinx, you owe me a soda?
You are the changeling. The true protector of the Red, ready to release me from my duties.
There it is. There it is. He's just ready to get out of this.
At last.
This is the philosophy he's developed for himself in these decades in fulfilling this role alone.
No.
That's not Gar, man.
Protecting the Red is your destiny. You are meant to fight alone, to be alone. The avatar of the Red is above family or friends.
See, there it is again. That same little mantra.
The Red is supposed to connect me to every single living creature on Earth, right?
Yes.
And not only am I not alone, but I'm connected to everybody on the planet. If the Red chose me to be its protector, fine. I'm in. I'll do it. But I will not abandon the people I love most. I'm going to them now. And then we're gonna save the world together.
You can
God, dude, I love Gar.
Not ready for the first time in my life. I know I am.
Oh. Back at the park again. You won't be good, buddy.
You are never, ever going to be alone again. I promise.
That needle drop feels a little out of place. Yeah, man. Own this shit. It's yours. Yo.
that connects and pervades all animal life.
This is fucking awesome, man.
In this universe.
In every universe. No. That's Grant's lightning. Yeah. Dude, what the fuck? Prairie dogs! Blue Valley! Grant just literally kicked him into Blue Valley. What the fuck? Brack! So that rumor was true, dude.
Are you all right?
Oh.
Where am I?
God, check out my reactions to Stargirl.
You're in Blue Valley, Nebraska.
Nebraska. Oh,
It's so good, man. God, these two, they're perfect.
Just a light in the sky. I saw it. Cosmo,
Oh, God.
do you need help?
You have no idea.
I know how important family is.
I need to get to them.
Where are they?
Oh, good question.
Well, about that.
Hey, me to my family.
Who are you talking to?
Take me!
God, whoa. Dude, this is badass. That worked. Yo! There's just straight up other Earths behind him. He's just straight up in the multiverse now. God, we got to see him interact with Breck, though, with Courtney. Holy shit! I was just talking about you! This is insane, dude. Dude, what the fuck? I don't recognize this.
See you. You see me?
What the fuck? What? Harley Quinn, Joker, Jor-El, the Joker. Again, Adam West Joker that time. What's happening now? Waffles, waffles, waffles. Waffles! Where the fuck are we now? Where, when? What Earth are we even on now? Yo! Dude.
Beast Boy.
Damn, what? No, really? We're done? I would have assumed we were going to wrap up this whole thing in this episode. I thought that this was going to be a self-contained one. But no, we're continuing on. We left off with the Doom Patrol. But which Doom Patrol? The last time we were here in this universe, they didn't have a cyborg yet. Obviously, they could have gone on very similar or parallel adventures and gotten this world's cyborg to join them. I would imagine he's back with his Doom Patrol, and they've just obtained their own cyborg, the same one from the Doom Patrol show. Because we know those have been established to be two separate continuities. They are not the same iteration. They're different Earths. Oh, shit, I just noticed this, too. Story by Jeff Johns and Ryan Potter. So he got some heavy input in this then, I guess, to get a credit like that. I love this episode, dude. You know, there had been rumors about Breck shooting something with Ryan. We weren't sure if Ryan was going to show up in Stargirl, or we didn't know if Stargirl was going to show up in here, or if it was just something that they did for fun, or that they were just hanging out on different sets. There was a lot of like speculation involved. But my God, that was so, those two characters would get along so great. And I love that we got just a teeny little taste. And it's stuff like that. These open doors that the Flash and the Arrowverse is tapped into with the DC TV multiverse. And even though, and this did it as well, shows that they've always reached beyond that. They never really saw themselves as separate from everything else, you know. Crisis on Infinite Earths had Christopher Reeve's Superman in it. They had the Adam West Batman. They had the DCU Flash, or EU Flash. They had Ezra Miller pop up in there as well. They connected everything, even animation, you know, came into play. And just like here, they echoed this here, and we actually saw Shazam this time. Swamp Thing, you know, all those things made references also in Crisis, and I love that they were keeping that continuity intact. Though I like that they just didn't mess with, they didn't even attempt to be like Earth, whatever, because I'm sure that could get messy with the continuity and whatnot between teams. But God, man, the second I saw that lightning, I was like, I know that lightning streak anywhere, man. That is specifically from the Flash TV show, dude. I know it was stock footage. I know it was just a pre-recorded clip and whatnot, but still, that hyped me the fuck out. But actually seeing him interact with Breck, Courtney, was just such a nice little treat. out of all of that, considering, you know, shooting and stuff was wrapping up alongside for both shows around the time, or with the time they shot this, you know, Stargirl had just wrapped. You know, check out that show, man. If you haven't, at least the first season is phenomenal. Great adaptation. You know, like this, it was also a DC Universe original before it got the broadcast rights got picked up by the CW. Go check out Stargirl if you've never watched it. It's really good. So is Swamp Thing. Sad. Rest in peace, Swamp Thing, man. It's another thing. Like, that show really left off on a high point, you know, setting up for more. And I get why they couldn't continue it. It was just a bad roll of the dice. But it would have been nice to see them exploring the green and exploring the red simultaneously if we lived in a world where these shows could continue. And again, while I'm all on board for what James Gunn is doing with unifying his vision for his universe, I do feel like all these shows ending so that can be birthed without any distraction is, and I know it's not his call necessarily. This is definitely from the uppers, from Zaslav. This is something that's come out. And again, DC TV hasn't had the best of reputations here in recent years, but I feel like everybody, especially executives, forget that DC TV pulled the weight for so many years. I feel like because of the social media presence, the memes and stuff, and yes, the lower quality that has come out in recent years for some of the ones that get a little more mainstream attention, like The Flash and stuff like that, with a little bit of a quality decline. But in their prime, at their peak, they had a successful connected universe way before. I mean, fuck, the films still don't even have one. Let's be real. Let's be honest. They've got some individual hit films here and there sprinkled throughout, but they have a pretty disjointed connected universe. And that's the one thing that the Arrowverse really nailed. And then they branched out into these other kind of sister brother sibling shows that spawned out of this as well and unified all that together, but also trying to reach beyond that with stuff like Crisis on Infinite Earths and this, and unified not just the TV side of things, but DC as a whole, the comics, the films, the small screen stuff, all of that. They just brought it in because DC is this collective multiverse, this omniverse, if you will. Because in DC, there are layers upon layers of multiverses with different tiers and different stuff. And it's all in there. And I like that they kind of honored that. And that's one of the things that kind of like, I hope, and I also am kind of, it does rub me the wrong way, is this approach with this reboot with the DCU, is that the films, that these things can't seemingly simultaneously exist. It's got to be one or the other. And I don't agree with that, man, because I think that's one thing that's a staple of DC they've always done really well, is these like different takes coexisting. It can get muddy, it can be messy, yes, but like it's such a DNA piece of what DC Comics is that I hate that this is kind of, I feel like there's a lot of stuff, and sure, there's been like a decline in viewership and stuff over the years for some of these shows and whatever, but I feel like given the support by people who love this shit, this stuff could have continued to thrive. Because let's be real, I don't care who you are. The Arrowverse, early DC TV, like the first couple seasons of The Flash, Arrow, all that stuff was building the crossover events. That shit was carrying DC for such a long time, man. It was some of the most watched shit on TV, especially in the comic book sphere. I don't care what the narrative is these days. That is a fact of the matter. And people, there should be, like, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like where it's gone. But, like, put some respect on that shit, man, because we wouldn't, dude, DC in this sphere would just have been limping more than ever without that shit. Fuck, dude. It was to the point where Walter Amada, now say what you will about the business practice of the old regime and whatever, knew that to promote their Flash movie, he begged for them to put Ezra Miller in the CW crossover event to set that up. Of course, that fell apart after that whole thing got wiped out, that whole script they were going to bounce off of from that got destroyed and rewritten into what we're about to watch. That's another thing, man. I know what they're going to do. I know they're going to shove all of this shit under the rug. And it hurts as a fan of all this stuff, I would say, and somebody who's been here the whole way through, because that's the thing. If you've been following along, it's another massive achievement of DC TV to have even done what they've done, because if you know the behind the scenes stuff about what WB was doing and how they were interfering and actively sabotaging these shows, or at least trying to, and the fact that they still became as big and as pivotal as they were and went on for as long as they have, is a testament to those teams that managed to work through all of these things. And that's the thing. DC TV has never had its parent company behind them. And that's another thing that makes me sad about this, because you would hope that somebody coming in there like James Gunn and stuff like this. And again, I'm really excited for what he's going to do with all that stuff, but I know that he's still beholden to the powers that be. And we know David Zaslav's point of view on all these shows and stuff like this. But it's the thing, like, I would have just imagine how DC TV could have flourished if its parent company actually supported it instead of held it back. God, man, the limitations, the statutes and stuff, and the memos and all that shit that's come out over the last couple of years about everything that's happened behind the scenes, it's just disgusting, and I fucking hate it. Especially as a fan of this stuff. But it's led to some really interesting adaptations and twists and spins, as every one of these... The Primo, during the prime time of its era, the people in charge really kind of did what they could to work around a lot of it. And it created some pretty interesting stories and some pretty memorable moments in the end. I mean, God. I don't know, man. I get really passionate about all of that because, again, it's low-budget TV stuff, and you have to think about it like that, too, because, again... You know, this is a little bit different. It was produced directly by DC, but it was also still interfered with by DC just as much. Warner Brothers. I don't know that DC ever really actively came down on any of these shows, but I know Warner Brothers did, and they control that IP. I wish there was somebody above that loved this shit in the way that it deserved to be loved, to support it in the way that it deserves, because we could have some really beautiful stuff like that, man. Like this, just imagine what that could lead to. What Crisis on Infinite Earths could have led to. But that aside, this episode was brilliant. I haven't even really been talking about the episode. Ryan Potter did a fucking great job in this. He acted his ass off this entire episode. And I love that it was so focused. This is hands down my favorite episode, and fan service aside, I think this is still, regardless of that, my favorite episode of this show. Like, topping out above that Doom Patrol episode that we got initially. I think that's been my favorite episode of this show so far. And this really kind of, like, zeroed in on Gar, who I think has been the most grounded, the most three-dimensional character out of all of them, and honestly the best written character, I think, consistently from seasons 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. What the fuck did I think season we were on? Like, he's been the character I think they've least botched throughout their seasons, and this one really kind of honed in on that, and it just makes me wish we would have got some Beast Boy love earlier on. But I love this focus. I love that he's finally coming out of the passenger seat and taking charge of his destiny, because he's always been uncertain. He's always been, like they said, like the Rachel avatar said, follower. He's always been afraid to take the charge, lead by his own example. And he is defining what he's going to be doing with this gift, with this role. And he has commanded control over the Red, and he's making it his own. And I'm excited. I'm sad that this is only happening in the final season, while it is an epic thing to build up to. It makes me wonder what could have been, because I do think the show has consistently improved. Even though I didn't like the first season, I have a lot of issues with the second season. I do think the second season was better than the first. I enjoyed the third season, though it still had a lot of issues, And this season has been mostly solid for the most part, except for these last 2 episodes I didn't quite jive with. But I think it's been consistently getting better. And I feel like the potential, the ceiling for these shows that are given support could have become great. You know, say what you will about where they came, because I never want a show to just straight up get canceled, especially if it's an IP that I'm a fan of. I want to see it improve. I want to see it get better. And even though I wasn't a fan of this from the get-go with season 1, I was always holding out to check out the next season to see if it improved. And it always did. In some way, sometimes minor, sometimes major. And I like seeing that evolution. And it's another thing. There's so much untapped potential in here, man. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm excited that this storyline, I was really expecting this storyline to be self-contained. But we'll be continuing it, and I guess hanging out with the Doom Patrol next episode. And that's another thing. We have still not gotten a confirmation on when Doom Patrol Season 4 Part 2 is coming out. There's still no release date for that. And I would imagine by the time this came out, we would have gotten some date. So I don't know what that's about, but man, I can't wait for that. That show is also so slept on. I still react to it, even though the views don't justify it, but I still react to it. Too many people sleep on that show, man. That is arguably one of the best comic book shows, hands down, in my opinion, man. But this was a fun episode, very focused, very centered, a rarity for this show, but I like what they did. I like what they pulled off. Fan service, multiverse hopping aside. The visuals, again, too, in this, I really enjoyed. The visualization of the Earths around him was a nice little touch. Oh, before we go, I do want to go back and check that Niles Coulter letter. Oh, yeah, okay. This is pretty blurry, but dude, I can't read half of this. Because half the page is out of focus. But Coulter Labs, insight on a theory I have regarding something on the green, which is said to be the life force of, assume the plant life. Yeah, I can make that out. A myth stretching back hundreds of years to something. A helmet that connected with the life force, with their life force, talking about Freedom Beast's helmet. They actually mentioned Freedom Beast in here. Regardless, this letter is a acceptance of something, Swamp Thing and the green, but I do believe, in the pursuit of science. From what we can make out, there's a lot of gobbledygook about the red, the green, and Swamp Thing, as well as a little bit of a backstory on Freedom Beast in here as well. Interesting. Anyway, guys, what did you think of the episode? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. If you enjoyed this reaction, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if we got Merrill channel, gets you access as well. And speaking of before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Sherritt, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, York Coruscant, Margaret Grace, Melita, Robert Anguiano, Raven McGann, Jeffrey Hale, M. Sephiroth, Jake Cantrell, Josh Lee, and Tiff. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. That's it for this episode, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.